Coming up, a person stabbed in the chest outside of a bar in Bowling Green this weekend. What police say happened leading up to the stabbing and whether officers have anyone in custody. Plus, the concerns continue for the construction in downtown Toledo. What the new issue is.
And the sunshine continues Tuesday with a taste of spring. Temperatures surging up into the 60s. But how long does the dry weather last before rain returns? I'll have the answer coming up in just a few minutes. Kaylee.
Welcome into WTOL 11 News on Plus on this St. Patrick's Day. I'm Kaylee Marentat. Thanks for joining us. Let's take a look at your top stories for the night. Police are searching for a man suspected of stabbing another person outside of a bar in Bowling Green. According to police, two 20-year-old men got into a fight outside of Liquid Bar on North Main Street downtown. Police believe the suspect, Marcus Ruiz, pulled out a knife and stabbed the other man in the chest before running away. Students at BGSU say the incident has caused a lot of anxiety for their safety.
We go to a pretty safe school where nothing ever really happens, and then you hear someone got stabbed, so it's just crazy.
I texted my friends and stuff, and they were like, no way, like that's so scary. And we all were like, no way we're going there again, like ever.
A warrant has been issued for Ruiz for felonious assault. If you or someone you know has any information on where he could be, you're asked to text or call Crime Stoppers at 419-255-1111. Toledo serial killer Anthony Cook will not be released from prison until at least 2034. That was the news families heard this morning. He refused to attend a parole hearing last week, but the board held discussions without him, coming to the decision to hold him for at least 10 more years behind bars. Because of sentencing guidelines at the time of his 9 killings, Cook could not be sentenced to death or life without parole. He and his brother Nathaniel killed 3 people together, including 12-year-old Don Backus. Nathaniel was paroled in 2018. Don's mother, Sharon, told 11 Investigates, quote, "He's got 10 more years. What a lucky St. Patrick's Day it is," end quote. Cheryl Bartlett, who was raped and shot by the brothers, told our team, "The best day of my life will be when both of them are dead." Anthony Cook turned 76 last Monday. He's been in prison since 1981. We've told you about pedestrians affected by the Cherry and Summit construction, but now one Toledo man is voicing his concern over another intersection just down the street. Megan Hartnett breaks down the details.
It's like an explosion on the whole left side. Everything just went black.
Pedestrian struck North Erie and Cherry.
Crossing the intersection on his scooter, Ron Caparelli says he was hit by a car.
I looked up, I seen I was a whole lane away from the corner. He blew me back that far.
Caparelli says the driver was trying to make a right on red, but failed to look both ways. The police report still has to be finalized, but Toledo Fire did confirm crews responded to the crash, a crash that has left him with multiple injuries.
I got lower back pains from that. It feels like I got punched in the kidneys. My back just got twisted. I got a problem with my hand here, issues with my wrist.
And he now has trouble walking and a scooter that no longer works.
Doesn't turn on, doesn't work. So now I have to walk. It's not happening.
With no scooter, he's trying to navigate how to get to the store, doctor's appointments, and more.
It's made my life very difficult right now. You know, I don't know what to do.
Caparelli says this crash isn't the first one he's seen at Cherry and Erie.
Something's got to be done around here. It's not safe. And this happens year after year. Between cars or people or somebody's getting hit around here.
According to Toledo Police accident reports, there's been at least 5 reported crashes at the intersection this year, but none have involved someone making a right on red. But Caparelli wants to see something change for his safety and for others.
I think if you take that right on red out of there, then there's no reason for anybody to get up that close to that line.
Our team reached out to the city to hear if there have been any complaints about this intersection. A city official told us they are looking into this and will have more information tomorrow. Well, city leaders in Adrian are discussing next steps after a commercial and residential complex caught fire this weekend. The blaze displaced 7 people and 3 businesses. The Downtown Development Authority is announcing tonight that it is starting relief fund for those impacted and will donate $5,000. WTOL 11 spoke to one woman who's collecting clothing and other items for people who lost everything.
The community has been great. We've gotten a lot of shoes, a lot of clothing. The women are mostly taken care of that were affected, so we're doing great.
Also, Adrian's Dragonfly Tattoo Company says next Friday, all proceeds from tattoos will go to those displaced. Lucas County and the union representing its sheriff deputies now have a new contract. Sheriff Mike Navarre says the agreement was finalized today through binding arbitration. That means no vote is needed from either the county or the Fraternal Order of Police. Negotiations started last July. A previous fact finders report was rejected. Navarre calls the deal fair, noting it raises starting pay to $24 an hour, though he says that's still the lowest in Northwest Ohio. The Lucas County Commissioners declined to comment, referring questions to the sheriff. Local band Toledo Firefighters Pipes and Drums stayed busy this St. Patrick's Day. The group celebrated the holiday by visiting different places throughout Northwest Ohio, making 15 stops since Saturday. John?
And the sunshine continues into your Tuesday. It's going to be a lot warmer, though, after a chilly St. Patrick's Day, with temperatures that'll be climbing to the mid to even the upper 60s, with plenty of sunshine continuing. Here's a look at that forecast. Great weather for heading out to your favorite metro park, with temperatures in the upper 60s. A very slight breeze with 10 to 20 mile per hour winds that are expected. Temperatures over the course of your Monday evening have been a little chilly for St. Patty's Day. Mid 40s across the Toledo metro, mid 40s in southern Michigan, and a little bit cooler out towards the lake shore. In the wake of the cold front that brought us rain and thunderstorms this weekend, we do have a drop in temperatures, but also some sunshine. Hour by hour forecast. It is going to be brisk out the door tomorrow morning with mid to upper 30s. However, by the afternoon, that commences the warm up as we climb up well into the 60s. There is going to be a little bit more of a breeze, though. Winds may gust occasionally over 20 miles an hour, and winds are going to be blowing from the south-southwest for your Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Now, Wednesday is going to bring us our next weather impact that'll come in the form of not only a gusty breeze, but some late day rain chances. So the hour by hour forecast, dry weather for your Tuesday. We do have a few more fair weather clouds. We'll advance the clock from Tuesday into Wednesday as we track that next storm system. I do expect a dry daytime Wednesday. It is going to be breezy and dry, a little more cloud cover expected. By late Wednesday evening, a cold front's going to be producing a line of showers. Could see a couple rumbles of thunder with that line, but I'm not expecting strong or severe storms. And as we look towards Wednesday night, rain's going to clear on off to the east, and behind that cold front you'll see blue. There could be a few snowflakes that mix in during your Thursday. Thursday is also the first day of the spring season, but it's not necessarily going to feel like it. Bright sunshine continues for your Tuesday. Wednesday, likely dry during the day. Temperatures once again in the mid to upper 60s. Breezy with rain that is likely late in the day. And that first day of spring forecast for your Thursday, featuring temperatures that'll be only in the mid 40s. Friday, we do spike back up into the lower 50s under partly sunny skies. Pretty seasonable for mid to late March. Overall, the 10-day forecast is going to bring us some more typical March weather. No major warmth. In fact, it is going to be trending a little bit cooler. Next weekend could bring us a few scattered showers, and even Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all bringing a slight chance for some raindrops. The 10-day forecast is likely to turn a little cooler, though, and most of those days in the extended outlook are only going to make it up into the upper 40s to near 50 degrees by day 10. Kaylee?
Whether you brew your coffee at home or order it from your favorite coffee shop, you could be paying more soon if you are not already. Coffee shop owners and roasters say prices are going up. Sophia Periconi has the latest on what's brewing.
If you start your morning with a cup of joe, your wallet could be taking a hit soon.
Most companies that are in existence right now haven't felt this level of change in the market.
Coffee prices around the world are rising, and Toledo is feeling the impact. Lance Roper owns Actual Coffee in Northwood. They roast a lot of coffee for Northwest Ohio's favorite shops. He says increasing costs go back to weather conditions in countries where coffee is grown and harvested.
Brazil's had a lot of adverse weather events. We're talking different amounts of rain and lower crop yields. And meanwhile, in Vietnam, we've had mudslides.
That's driving supply down while demand is up. Roper says more people are drinking coffee worldwide.
And we're talking hundreds of millions of less pounds getting shipped all around the world.
Right now, it's bags of beans that are being hit the hardest. Maddie and Bella owner Rich Jambor says shops like his are able to eat the cost in products for now.
That increase is a little bit easier to absorb in a shot of espresso in a latte as opposed to a 12-ounce bag. It's probably going to affect our wholesale customers maybe even more than the retail customers, at least right at first.
And local shops are at the mercy of the supply chain. Jambor says big chains have the buying power, meaning spots like Maddie and Bella feel the strain the most.
We are at the mercy of the distributors and what they can get their hands on. Again, it comes down to buying power and what you're able to do.
Throughout this week, we're looking back at the impact of the coronavirus as we mark 5 years since the pandemic first started. The first signs in Ohio came in early March when Governor Mike DeWine banned spectators from the Arnold, a sports competition and festival in Columbus. Just 4 days later, the state confirmed the first case of COVID-19. On March 11th, the World Health Organization officially declared the virus as a global pandemic. And on the 14th, there was the first case in Lucas County. The entire state really felt the impact on March 22nd when the governor issued a statewide stay-at-home order.
That was a Sunday when Governor DeWine announced the shutdown. And the next day, we pivoted after conversation with our managers to go to curbside pickup. But that was pretty painful.
By the end of April, some businesses were allowed to reopen, contingent on social distancing, masking, limited capacity, and curfews. Ohio's mask mandate remained in effect until June of 2021. One of the first deaths in Ohio, if not the first, was a lawyer, father, and grandfather from Ottawa Hills. Mark Wagner died on March 18th, 2020. At that time, there were very few COVID tests, and there was little known about how to treat it. Wagner's son, Mark Jr., says the virus took his dad's life in just days.
You know, and our reaction was, how does Mick Wagner from Toledo, Ohio have the virus from China? You know, this is all sort of breaking out. Like, this doesn't make sense. Of all the people who wouldn't have it, it'd probably be my dad.
Wagner says while it was challenging, he decided to publicize his dad's death in those first few days to help people best understand what to do to protect themselves and their loved ones during the pandemic. Hope Toledo is a local organization that depends on public and private partnerships. Its goal is to deliver educational experiences for area youth.
Yeah, this week, Reverend John Jones, he joined from the organization. He joined me on Leading Edge to discuss its new funding plan in order to try to help deliver on that mission. Lucas County Commissioners approved $100,000 in funding to get them through the year. But once the end of the year comes about, there's a lot of uncertainty for the nonprofit and its preschool education initiative. So with these funds drying up, we asked him, should the onus be on them to find new funding options?
So we knew that this day was going to come, so it was not a surprise to anyone. So I think going into our event on Monday and what we're going to do is talk about why it's critically important and why we have to secure long-term sustainable funding that will help do this for more children for a longer period of time.
The event Jones mentioned happened today. That was a preschool education summit at the Glass City Center. Jeff, so commissioners gave money to keep Hope Toledo afloat this year, but what happens after that?
That's kind of where today came in, because it wasn't necessarily so much a pitch to say, Hope Toledo in front of all these organizations, all these partners in the community to say, we need your dollars, but kind of underlying, that's what was being said today. I wanted to read you something real quick from the Toledo Blade. In fact, Lucas County Commissioner Lisa Sebecki last week, she said businesses have talked about the benefits of universal pre-K programs, but the money just hasn't followed. So what we talked about on the show with John was just the fact that there's so many